Okay, I thought I would give you a little tour of my garden. This is my vertical garden, and in it you can see strawberries and basil and some pansies that just sprung up, and they make a nice addition to salads. And here you have oregano and sorrel, and then in here is one of my composters that has worms in it. Thyme and hot peppers, basil and sage, and then another one of my composters is in here. And there is aloe, pineapple, sage, and different succulents, and tarragon, and some roses. And then up here I have an upside down cherry tomato plant, and up in the top is a pepper. I don't know if I can get that. Up in the top is a pepper growing. Here is sweet potatoes, decorative, with some peppers that are something like jalapeno. They're kind of the equivalent. They call them sombrero peppers. And this is another one of my composters. And an insect hotel. I'm hoping to attract some bees in there. I've got a potato, a new crop growing in the potato bag, a grow bag. Rosemary, and then here is the potatoes that I planted back in May, and they've just kind of gone wild, and they're almost ready to harvest. Down below, these big leaves here, this is a squash, a Nice squash. And back in here I've got some remnants of radishes and another one of those sombrero peppers, and some remnants of carrots that I've just sort of let go wild to see if they'll go to seed, and more peppers. And here's the beginning of the squash plant. I've got 2 squash plants in here and some lettuce. Another pepper. It's actually 2 peppers, and hiding behind there is some kale and more lettuce. And the kale just kind of sprung back up. I was just letting it go to seed, and then it went back wild again, and is actually good for eating. It's very tender and good. Here I've got some, this is called blette. It's a kind of spinach that's typical of Nice, and they make a tart out of it, but I put it in salads. And this little guy is cucumber, with little mini cucumbers. We'll see what happens with that. I've got a cherry tomato and another pepper growing in there. More lettuce, geraniums, mint, and this is another kind of spinach. We're gonna see what happens with that. It's a spinach that has little berries on it. This, I've got some beans. These are shelling beans, and some onions that I put, the beans, or the onions went to, started growing sprouts, so I just divided it and put it in here. We'll see what happens. And I've got some purslane coming up, volunteers there. This is my decorative pomegranate tree. And back here I've got more cucumbers and another bean and a lemon tree. Another cucumber. And then here I've got 3 more beans. These are the purple beans. And I've got some Japanese salad greens, and I have them under glass right now because the worms got after them and nearly ate them all up. So I'm gonna try to see what I can save from my Japanese greens, Mizuna and Pak Choi. And here's a little fountain that I put in yesterday. And that's my garden. And up here I put a little bee house. We'll see if it attracts any bees. And that is a tour of my garden.